Hi, my name is Christian Salas, and I'm going to be answering the following questions for my sixth human development assignment. The first question is, how does research on life conditions that accelerate telomere shortening illustrate the joint influence of heredity and environment on biological aging? So, telomere shortening has been linked to rapid disease progression and early death, and it can actually be traced all the way back to the prenatal period, which is one of the hereditary influences. So during this period, if the mother is under a lot of stress or malnourished, the child can be born underweight or suffer from childhood stress or even stress during adulthood. And one of the biological influences of telomere shortening can be seen if a person undertakes unhealthy habits such as smoking, drinking, not getting enough exercise, and overeating, which can lead to obesity. And another biological influence would be being bullied or experiencing family violence, which can cause stress, and taking care of a sick family member with disabilities can also take a toll on one's telomere shortening. But luckily, it can be changed if you change your habits to healthy ones, such as stopping activities such as drinking or smoking. The second question is, why are people in committed relationships likely to be more sexually active and satisfied than those who are dating several partners? So people that are in a committed relationship tend to experience more sexual activity because they see their partners more often or they might live together. So they have sex about twice a week and they're more satisfied physically and emotionally because they create a bond with their partner. They create an emotional bond and a physical bond. So a physical bond is created due to sexual activity, or it can also be cuddling or hugging and kissing. And an emotional bond is formed because they've gotten to love each other and know each other and spend time with each other, while a single person is out having multiple partners and they're not establishing a bond with them, maybe not even a physical one, because it shows that people that have more than one sexual partners actually decrease their sexual satisfaction. The third question is, how does expertise affect information processing? Why is expertise necessary for, but not the same as creativity? So, expertise is necessary because it helps develop an extensive knowledge in a certain field, which can help in problem solving, and it also affects how information is processed because it allows an expert in a field to remember and reason more quickly and efficiently, and they're able to tie in the information that they're an expert on into a new concept or into solving a new problem. And the reason that expertise is necessary for creativity is because creativity in adulthood actually requires a unique cognitive capacity. And the people that have this cognitive capacity tend to be those that are experts in various subjects or experts in one subject. They have the mental ability to be able to formulate new and meaningful problems that haven't been asked yet, or even answer problems that haven't been answered. And the reason this differs from creativity is because even though one may be an expert in a field, it doesn't mean that they have the ability to be creative. And this is because in order to be creative, you have to think outside of the box. And many people don't. Many people are closed minded or they stick to traditional methods. But those that go outside the box tend to have a bigger creativity than those that don't. The fourth question is, what students in college environment characteristics contribute to favorable psychological changes during the college years? So, during a young adult's time in college from freshman to senior year, they will tend to develop a greater self understanding, enhanced self esteem, and a firmer sense of identity. And this is accomplished through their characteristics being molded by factors such as being introduced to higher arts like literature, performing arts, which can actually widen their attitudes and values, or by being introduced to political activisms and multiple views on a certain subject, which can help them develop a higher moral reasoning by taking into consideration the feelings of others. And this also allows them to take a closer look at themselves. The fifth question is, what cultural changes have led to the emergence of the period known as emerging childhood? So, emerging childhood is mostly seen in Western countries, and it's the period where you're not really considered a child, but you're also not considered an adult. And during this period, you don't have to work, and you get to decide what you're going to study in school. And many developing countries, they also don't get to experience emerging adulthood, but those teenagers that belong to wealthy families do, because they don't have the need to work and they're able to continue a higher education. And in countries like Africa, Asia, or South America, their teenagers don't get to experience emerging adulthood because they have to go to work as soon as they're able. And because of this, they also engage in early marriage and early parenthood. And not only this isn't only seen in these countries, it can also be seen in Western countries where a teenager might end up pregnant and they might drop out of school to get a job and not continue their education, which means that they also didn't get a chance to experience emerging adulthood. The sixth and final question is, according to Levinson, how do the life structures of men and women differ? So, when transitioning into adulthood, many teenagers envision themselves as an image of what they want to be when they're older. And men typically see themselves as being successful and having a good career, while women envision themselves having both a successful career and being married. The second transition occurs when they're in their 30s. Around this time, those that focused mostly on their career, which tend to be men, are now focused on becoming married and starting a family, while the women that already achieved this are focusing more on themselves. So they can focus on getting their doctorate or getting a better job, buying themselves a car, going on vacation. They're self-centered goals that they have because they've already accomplished career and families. And men tend to be more satisfied than women when they're older because they pick a set of activities and relationships that they want to focus on and they settle for that. While women are unsatisfied because they try to do more than one thing at once. They try to have many relationships and many activities, which leads on them not having enough time to focus on everything, and this can have negative effects on their life, such as depression or even getting a divorce for not spending as much time with their husbands if they're out working a job that requires constant travel, which means they won't be around as much as they used to be.